Justice for resource.
Yes, I will see you through the smoking flames on the front.
The abusive mom. One of the things that isn't talked about as much, at least not on the level of the deadbeat dad, is that of the abusive mom. Before I continue, I would like to make it known for the record that I in no way support, condone, or defend the actions of deadbeat parents. Any man who abuses his children is a piece of shit, having dealt with an abusive dad myself. Abusive parents don't deserve children and should have them taken away. Now that I've said that, the abusive mom is something that isn't really as discussed as the deadbeat dad, at least not in my opinion anyway. Abusive mom is perhaps just as bad, if not worse than the two. There's a few articles about it in the description below, if you wish to read it. It details how, in fact, mothers are more likely to abuse their children and are more common than abusive fathers. If you wish to find the abusive mom, all you have to do is look around. They exist. They are everywhere. Trust me on that. If you want an example, look no further than to the black community, where so many hoes and tramps exist. Look to where the black woman that gets knocked up by Tyrone and or Ray Ray, she's impregnated with the kid behind her boyfriend's back, and now the boyfriend finds out she's pregnant, and he is stuck paying child support for a kid that isn't even his. Unbeknown to him, not only will he be fathering a child that isn't his, he'll be stuck paying child support, and most likely be kicked out of the apartment or the house in which they reside, and she'll be using the kid as collateral to collect those support checks that are provided to her courtesy of daddy government. The deadbeat abusive mom isn't limited to just the black community. There are plenty of white, upper middle class suburban families in which the dad is divorced by the mom after X amount of years. She throws the dad out into the streets, uses the gavel of the family court to extract those monthly or bi-weekly support payments. She has no problem again using the children as collateral, albeit emotional or financial, to siphon the hard-earned money that dad makes and throws him out to die in a gutter somewhere. Meanwhile, she's bringing in these random guys to bang on the bed she once shared with her soon-to-be ex-husband. I don't know about you, that is about as low and dirty dog as one could get. She does this without compunction. Meanwhile, the kids are wondering who these strangers are that mommy is bringing home. She has royally screwed these children over. Without a stable father figure in the house, the children will grow up either resenting the father or never knowing who the father was because mommy could not resist the urge to ride the cock carousel. She has no idea what she is putting the children through, tearing the family apart and leaving the children without a stable father figure to look up to. The son will likely grow up being jumped into a gang, committing violent crimes, or strung out on drugs with a rap sheet a mile wide, and the daughter will end up slutting it up like mommy as a way to get back at daddy for something he had no control over. Of course, that deadbeat bitch of a mom couldn't care less about any of these. She isn't concerned in the slightest with the consequences of her actions and how drastically it'll affect her children and the father. She simply doesn't give a shit. That's the cold, hard truth. That is the reality and magnitude of the situation. It doesn't end there. It gets worse. We are now witnessing the moms turn murderers. How some mothers will murder the child so the father doesn't have custody. It's also on TV. Have you ever watched the TV show Snapped? If you haven't, all you have to do is watch a few episodes and you'll see how she kills the dad just so she can cash out on his life insurance and live somewhere in paradise with her newfound lover. The children are sent off to live somewhere knowing that they'll never see their father again, and that is probably perhaps one of the most heart-wrenching feelings ever. Of course, she'll make excuses to try to justify her actions, but any sane man with enough sense knows that she's a lying sack of shit who should be thrown away into the darkest prison cell to live out the remainder of her days in total isolation, haunted by the choices she has made. It's really pathetic and insulting how, thanks to rampant gynocentrism and lawless family court lawyers, how the deadbeat mom is allowed to flourish and grow like a cancer upon society. Men, be cautious. Be aware of these things. I cannot stress this enough. The deadbeat abusive mom is perhaps the sole cause, if not one of the main reasons, behind the epidemic of the fatherless families that are sprouting up in the millions. It's time for society to take a long, hard look at these women. It's time to stop making excuses for these women and acknowledge that, yes, women can be just as destructive and deadly as the men. Any woman who uses her child in this manner to emotionally blackmail the father when he wants to step up and be a good father to his children but can't have the opportunity because she's a soulless vampire that should never have those children to begin with. It's time for society to come to grips with this and start making the necessary changes to fix this problem. Society needs to take a long, hard look at these women and come to the conclusion that just because she has the unholy vagina, she's not best suited for raising children. There's my 2 cents on that. Thanks again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a donation. Links will be in the description box below. Thank you.